And for some reason, but 70s and some 80s on the way. If you're going out to area lakes, it won't rain the entire time, but just be prepared for a few storms at times. Watch out for lightning. That's always one of the main concerns out on the lake. And we're back in the 80s, 88 for Memorial Day Monday.
All righty then.
You know, everyone has something that means everything to them. For one tornado survivor, it was a wedding gift.
Yeah.
Still in wrapping paper.
Yeah.
That's the kicker.
And it made it out intact, she says, with help from above. News 9's Tess Mullen explains why that gift meant so much.
A driveway full of stuff, a suitcase, some gas cans. It's what's left of Tiffany Truesdell and Melanie Wright's home.
I'm okay with the house. I had 2 dogs that were out back, and both have been found. So, you know, the things can be replaced.
But for Melanie, there were a few things that were irreplaceable. 2 wrapped gifts from her mom.
I had wedding presents from my mother, who passed away in July 2001.
Her mom died of breast cancer when Melanie was in high school, and her mom knew she'd never see her daughter walk down the aisle.
And her and my dad went out and bought presents for me and my sisters who weren't married yet before she passed away, just so we could have that special gift from her.
Melanie's a junior high teacher and was on lockdown with her students when the tornado wiped out her neighborhood. She watched its path from her phone, so she knew when she went home there would be no home to go to. But the question then was, would those precious gifts be anywhere to be found? Turns out her mom was watching over her.
It was actually the most outer stack of boxes in the garage, and all of that was exposed, walls gone, very top of the stack, untouched, still wrapped, nothing broken.
Nothing broken, just like Melanie's spirit.
Honestly, I've already gotten the things that meant the most, so the rest of it, if it can be saved, great. If not, I'm okay with it.
Well, Melanie may find Mr. Right after they see her on these stories.
She's beautiful. Is that what you're alluding to?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of guys are saying, I'm Mr. Right. She found her mother's wedding dress perfectly unharmed, but her roommate also made a special find.
Her dogs. One of them was found on a roof a few blocks away by the Air National Guard's thermal detector. How about that?
I just love these stories. I really do.
I never even thought of doing something like that.
I think her mom had a heart as big as
Texas.
Oh my gosh.
How about that?
Yeah, the state of the art theater, we should say, and more, has plans to not just rebuild, but they're going to reopen when the Warren Theater will start showing the movies again.
And 2 teens were brave to capture the tornado on camera. This is from a storm shelter. That's why the angle looks like that. What their mother has to say about this one.
Not too happy. You won't see a lot of travel on the roads this upcoming holiday weekend. Why more people are planning just to stay home.
All right, here's a quick update on some storms that are moving into the west sides of the metro. They've gotten heavier now. They're not severe, but they're getting fairly close out around Calumet near El Reno. Heavy line of storms now west sides of the metro, tracking southeast right toward Moore. They'll be moving into Moore right about 6:12. So we're watching these closely, guys. Heavy storms west sides of the metro.
All right, thank you, sir.
Well, heavy storms are sticking around for your morning commute. Jed is standing by like he was just there.
Still standing
Do I really have to tease that?
Plus, an Oklahoma man has set up a fund for the victims. We're going to be talking to him live.
And residents continue to pick up through the Rebel. Funerals for those lost also start today and more. Back after this.
This is Oklahoma's own News 9 in high definition.
Right now it's 6 rain and heavy storms on the radar this morning. Jed's got an update.
We're also following the latest and more as residents recover from this week's storms.
And a warning for everyone how you can avoid becoming a victim of disaster fraud. Good morning to you. I'm Bobby Miller.
And I'm Stan Miller. Jed, what's happening out there right now?
Severe thunderstorm warning just issued now for parts of Canadian, Cleveland, Grady, and parts of Oklahoma County. It's this batch of thunderstorms that's really fired up. It's gotten pretty intense right now, tracking toward the east. It's the east-southeast movement right now, and with this, as much as half dollar size hail, that'll be the main threat. This is not a tornado producing type storm, but it is one that's going to produce some very heavy rain, a lot of lightning, and the possibility for as large as half dollar size hail. So that's getting pretty close to golf ball size hail this morning as they track right now into Canadian County. General movement on that is toward the east and southeast. So Oklahoma City, Moore, Norman, be prepared. This storm is going to be tracking on in. This type of a pattern can produce severe weather, and we're seeing that right now. Again, severe weather threat going up today in parts of central, western parts of Oklahoma. I want to show you one more view on radar here and give you a storm track on this as this storm has just moved in here this morning. The latest track on this shows the movement on this toward the east and southeast, and it's moving about 30 miles per hour. So it's moving into Oklahoma City here at this moment. The OCCC area 610, Newcastle 617. All right, a lot of folks and more wanting to know what's going on here. And we've got a heavy storm and a potentially severe storm moving into more with some large hail. And that'll be moving into more probably between 6:15 and 6:19, and it'll move on into the Norman area about 6:34, hitting the University of Oklahoma campus right at 6:35. So we're going to track that very closely. A couple city cam shots. That's a look from our Norman cam looking back up toward that storm right now. You can see the flashes of lightning off the distance. That's a live view from our tower cam. And boy, really what's becoming a ferocious storm now on the west sides of the metro. A lot of lightning with this. And something we'll have to watch here this morning is the OG&E system watch, because this kind of storm can produce power outages, and we're seeing that heavy storm now moving into the Mustang, Yukon areas, tracking toward the southeast at 30 miles per hour. So if you're just waking up, here you go. Storms are tracking into the metro area. Some of these have been severe. And we have the storm west of Oklahoma City, particularly between Yukon and Mustang is where the most intense part of this storm is right now. And that's going to track on in. Let's zoom on into this storm area that's running from near Will Rogers World Airport, near Highway 152 in Mustang, just north of there along the highways that run from Mustang Road back over to Cimarron Road. And that's where the heaviest part of the storm is, just south of the I-40 corridor, within that core that you see right there. And we'll put a motion on this, moving toward the east-southeast at 30 miles per hour. The heaviest core now is just developed just in the northwest of Mustang, south sides of Moore, right there along Southwest 29th Street, tracking into the north sides of Mustang and the far southwest sides of Oklahoma City. And that will keep tracking on into the Will Rogers World Airport areas and eventually move toward Moore. So the story is, folks in Moore, just be prepared for some heavy and maybe even severe weather, with large hail being the main threat. Maybe as large as $50, maybe golf ball size hail with this storm as it tracks in. These storms have really intensified in just the last 30 minutes, so they're really getting their act together. They are not tornadic. Let me just tell you, these are not tornadic storms. We don't have to worry about that threat, but very heavy rainfall and large hail being the main threats. Along with that, a lot of clouds, ground lightning with this. This storm is really cranking out the lightning now in Mustang, south sides of Yukon, back up toward El Reno. So most of the metro right now, just some general type showers. We have the thunderstorm that is just tracking south of Moore, and that's in the Norman area right now. That is not severe, but the one that is back here to the west, just west of Bethany in Yukon, back over toward El Reno, that is a severe storm, and it is tracking through the western and the southwest sides of Oklahoma City. So heavy weather right now. We'll keep working our way up this line just a bit, show you where the storm is and how it's moving. Again, impacting El Reno, Calumet, Richland, a bit further to the north up towards Okarche, Kingfisher. Another very intense thunderstorm on the southwest sides of Kingfisher County. That core also may have some large hail with it, and then a few more storms extend up toward Roman Nose State Park, near Hitchcock, just north of Watonga, near O'Keene. And these storms, again, are tracking toward the south and east here this morning. So at 6:05, a lot of folks just waking up wanting to know. They're seeing a lot of lightning probably flashing out the window, probably hearing the rumble of thunder. And if you're underneath this thunderstorm, you're feeling the effects of it, especially on the west sides of the metro. It is a severe storm now, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Oklahoma City, western sides of the metro, and the southern sides of the metro, including Moore, Norman, Yukon, Mustang, El Reno. And this is going to affect for about the next 45 minutes as these storms track toward the east and southeast. And hail being the primary threat. Let's go ahead and check another view on radar real quickly. We'll show you what the latest looks like here with these storms they track on in. The view on Storm Shield right now shows a big cluster of storms, and the most intense, and they've really gotten intense in the last 15-20 minutes here on the west sides of the metro. And those storms that you see there, they are producing some very large hail. And so if you're on Facebook and you're able to see the hail outside, you might give Stan, Bobby, or myself a quick update on our Facebook pages and let us know what you're seeing, because those are great updates to help us be able to see what's going on. Watching those storms in the Norman area right now. Heavy rain falling in Norman. Lightning flashing right now as one line of thunderstorms is just now tracking through the Norman area. And a second line, which is more intense, is just west of Oklahoma City. You can see the lightning flashing there. That storm is tracking through the western and southwest sides of Oklahoma City. Lightning is one of the concerns. You see it flashing there, and also the possibility for very large hail with this as it tracks through the western and southwest sides of the metro. That's a live view from our tower cam right now as we look at this storm tracking in. It's really gotten its act together, guys. This is a very mature, very intense thunderstorm with the threat of large hail with this storm. And the threat of largest hail right now is on the western sides of the metro area. And we're going to look at another view here. I'm trying to get another radar set up here. So keep looking at tower cam, and we'll get this other radar set up here in just a moment. Here is a look at XL. I want to show this to you, and this shows you where the most intense part of the storm is located. We're going to zoom it on into the metro. We'll just go ahead and put the latest frame in here. So from Yukon, South Yukon, Mustang over to El Reno, that's where the most intense part of the storm is right now. And within that core right there, we could be seeing at least, we'll call it at least golf ball size hail. Guys, this has really gotten its act together, guys. This is a large storm. The hail continues to intensify, and golf ball size hail, I suspect, is with this storm. So if you're seeing it, if you're on Facebook, let Stan, Bobby, or myself know about that. Let's go to a quick update from Rusty. Rusty, go ahead.
Jed, it is picking up out here and more. We're actually inside of the truck right now. I'm going to step out so Scott can give you a pretty good look. Take a look at here behind me. The rain is picking up. The lightning is just intense out here this morning. I'm watching the radar, keeping a close eye on this. Just a lot of noise, a lot of hail. The rain is heavy, and it is just a mess out here this morning. Jed?
All right, great update. Rusty, keep us up to date. More is obviously an area we're really focused on. If you have an update for us, you jump back in, okay?
I certainly will.
Let's go to Fig now on I-35. Fig, give us an update.
Yes, Jed, I'm actually on I-44, fixing to head south down towards the Moore area. The rain is heaviest at the west side of the city over here. The heaviest rain I saw was out on I-40 west around Yukon, and it does seem to be heading southeast towards the Moore Norman area. So we're going to head down that way and check it out for you. But the roads are wet, so everyone needs to pay attention.
Are you guys getting any updates for OG&E yet?
Well, you know, I checked it, but, you know, they're factoring in more right now, and obviously there are thousands and thousands of homes without. So what it's saying is Moore has 6,000, and
right.
But Norman is only reporting 68 right now as of 6 a.m. and 118 in the south part of Oklahoma City.
Okay, so Stan, if you take the total number you're at right now, what's the total number you have?
Total number in the metro is 6,500.
Okay, so let's just use 6,500 as kind of a base, and we'll kind of go from there. If the numbers obviously go from 6,500, then we know we're dealing with some power outages. That's a live view from our Sandridge Skycam right now, looking off toward the west and southwest. Thunderstorms moving in, severe thunderstorms right now moving through the metro. Let's go back to XL and show you the latest view here on this thunderstorm complex moving in now to the west sides of the metro. And this storm has got its act together. Very heavy rain, a lot of lightning with this, and hail up to the size of possibly golf ball size hail with this storm. I'm going to give you the latest update. We're going to pause this and look at the latest scan here. And that is some very large hail with that storm right now. It's over golf ball size hail between Yukon and Mustang as it appears right now. And Bobby and Stan, if you guys get any updates from your Facebook pages of what people are reporting in hail, that's a very important estimate for me.
And didn't you say earlier that this was kind of rogue? It just kind of popped up on a very clear map?
It did, yes. These storms were not here at 3 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, the skies were ablaze here in the central part of the state.
What's up with that?
Well, this is called warm air advection. And what's going on, warmer air is riding up over some what we call cooler air below it. And that's kind of the pattern that we're in. This type of pattern can be severe. I kind of mentioned this yesterday morning, and the main threat typically is large hail, and that's what we're seeing here this morning.
Somebody here on Facebook says, Haskell Ross says, tell Jed to turn the tower cam northeast sunrise looking dramatic. I don't see any sunrise out there.
I see a light show off every single tower cam we've got from any direction.
Yeah, it's really getting very hectic out there, especially in the western part of the state. Alan, do you have an update for me?
No, I just Coma and a few of the other radio stations that we support were needing some information, and I gave that to them and told them to keep them advised as the storm hits the city.
Okay, very good. So our radio stations, Coma, Jake FM, KRXO, and AM 1520 KOKC are the stations you want to turn to for the latest weather updates here this morning. So again, tracking this thunderstorm moving through the metro area. We're going to zoom on in here. What I want to do, if we can, is go back to Weather Live and show you the latest view on this thunderstorm. You see the yellow boxed out area. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. We now have a new severe thunderstorm warning also for that storm that's up in Kingfisher County. That cell, you can see I'm kind of rolling my cursor over that storm. That has some large hail with it west of Kingfisher. So 2 severe storms, one in Kingfisher County, and then along that line, extending down from west of Okarche, near Calumet, El Reno, Yukon, Mustang, now kind of lining up down into the Moore Norman area. Along that entire line, hail, maybe some wind gusts above 30 miles per hour, but especially very heavy rain, hail, and a lot of lightning with this storm as it tracks in. The general movement on this has been southeast, but if you look at the last few frame movements as this moves in, watch the movement of that last thunderstorm there that forms over here near Bridgeport. It pops up right there. It is moving nearly due east. So with that kind of a movement, it moves it back into Oklahoma City right now. So west sides of the metro being impacted with severe thunderstorm, guys. Large hail, the main threat, very heavy rainfall, and this is going to keep moving in for your morning rush hours. So be prepared for the storm as it rolls on in. Guys, do you have any new updates?
Well, again, on this OG&E business, we really can't tell if any of it's affected by this storm because Moore, Norman, and let's see, was it South Oklahoma City?
South Oklahoma City. They haven't really added anything to it.
They're the only ones that reported any power outages, so we kind of feel like it's just probably from the tornado earlier this week.
Yes, I was just telling Stan here just a moment ago, he is telling me that the total number at this moment is about 6,500.
That's right.
And that's kind of our threshold. So if you see it start to go above, that means we're dealing with some outages probably in some other areas.
You know, some folks are going to be going to work down through the, what's already been an impacted area down through the Moore area on I-35. If you can hold off maybe a little bit going to work this morning, it might be a good idea.
Yeah, we got to check back in with Rusty because he is out in it, Jed, and you told him to pop back up when he could. Here we go.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go ahead, Rusty.
We're actually shooting from inside the truck because the rain, it got pretty intense for a moment. It seems to have let up just a little bit. It's still coming down hard and at a very good rate, but it seems to have let up just a little bit here in the last 60 seconds or so. Dark clouds, a lot of lightning, some thunder every now and then, but all of this is just rain at this point. We haven't seen any hail come down, and if we do, we'll certainly yell back at you there in the studio.
Rusty, thank you very much. And Jed, I guess the pluses and minuses of this is it's washing some of that particulate out of the air down there in the Moore area and the other tornado-ravaged areas, but also it's going to make it tough for them to clean up today, get that cleanup going.
Yeah, the wet, nasty debris is not fun to have to mess with, but that's what we'll be dealing with here this morning down in the Moore, Newcastle areas, and also with the other storms probably that'll be forming around Shawnee Lakes and also near Little Axe. Let's go to Bill Newton, who is tracking toward the airport right now. Give us your latest location and what's your conditions right now.
Yeah, Jed, I'm on I-44 heading southbound around Southwest 29th Street. There's fairly heavy showers out here, quite a bit of lightning. Traffic is picking up, so it's making it a little more difficult to drive. But the rains definitely are picking up out here.
Okay. Fig, are you in the heavier rains yet?
I have been. It kind of ebbs and flows, but I have been in some heavier rain. No winds to speak of. I have not seen any hail. But the rains do get fairly heavy at times. Yes,
okay, Fig, let me just tell you, as you're driving along, the heaviest hail core appears right now to me is going to be on the north sides of Mustang, approaching Mustang Road and Highway 152. So this is going to be Airport Road, approaching Airport Road, right near Will Rogers. So as you're traveling down toward the Will Rogers area, there's going to be this core that's going to track right on top of you. So I think folks along the I-240 corridor, down along I-44, going down toward Newcastle will probably be in the area with the greatest risk of this, what I'll call this hail storm as it moves on in. I mean, the lightning is ferocious with this too. So if your power flickers or you notice it maybe going out, don't be too surprised, because there is extreme lightning with this from Canadian County on down now into the far northwest sides of Cleveland County, all the way down to the Norman area. So we've got intense thunderstorms right in the Norman area right now tracking on in. This is very heavy rain, probably some small hail with this cell as it moves into the Norman area right there. Along, we'll put it right there along Tecumseh Road, and that's right about where our city cam has been located, right there in Norman, right there at the Norman Healthplex on I-35 and Tecumseh Road. We'll work our way up this line from Moore. So folks in Moore, that heavy rain is now beginning to move in, and it's forming up right there along that damaged swath right there near 149th, Southwest 149th, just south of there. And so look for that heavy rain to keep falling. It's over Will Rogers. If you have a flight out of Will Rogers this morning, I would just go ahead and just be prepared for some flight delays here this morning as this next big batch of storms rolls on in. The heaviest of the storm is near Wheatland, running from Southwest 89th up to Southwest 29th, and right there on Mustang Road. Mustang Road is that brown line right where my cursor is pointing. I'll go ahead and put that right in the middle part of the screen. So intense thunderstorm there extending on back toward Banner and El Reno. So we're tracking a big, severe thunderstorm that's beginning to push into the west sides of Oklahoma City. We're going to talk about Mustang. Yes, sir.
Just got Kay Metcalf says hail at her house in Yukon Mustang area. So.
Any size on that?
We got to toss to a break, okay? So more after this.
We'll
Thank you.
Okay, just got a Facebook report in. El Reno, Charlie Lynn says quarter-size hail, sometimes bigger in spots.
Okay, and this might be one of those spots. Rusty Surrett live and more. And you are seeing hail as well, Rusty.
That is right here in the parking lot of Target, actually. We've got pea-sized hail falling on top of us, heavy rain, intense lightning. Scott, show them once again the shower. You can see that spotlight out in the parking lot kind of gives you an idea of the rain that's coming through. Approximately 3 minutes ago, we had pea-size hail falling on top of us, thunder, rain, lightning, and we're seeing a lot of these emergency crews, the police cars now coming in off the streets and into the parking lots. That is the latest here in Moore right now. We're keeping a close eye on it. We'll let you know if we have any new developments. Back to you in the studio.
Complete washout.
So go to Tower Cam, guys, and show you the live shot from our Tower Cam right now. This is looking from the north sides of the metro, looking south. I don't know if we can take that full to be able to show that rainbow that we have over the metro right now. And then our Integra City Cam as well shows a similar shot.
I've never seen anything quite like that, a rainbow among the lightning.
Yeah, so we got that. I mean, we've got our assignment editor that's getting ready to turn that Integris cam and move it around to the south and show you an absolutely just incredible sunrise this morning. Not sure if he's able to get control on that right now, but we're going to swing that around. It is absolutely just amazing.
I guess I spoke too soon. I guess the sunrise is beautiful this morning. All we could see was rain earlier. It
is absolutely incredible, guys. But the big story right now are the storms moving through. Let's go to Storm Shield and take it full. Let's show you where the storm line is right now. Severe thunderstorm line running from near Moore on down toward Mustang. This is tracking toward El Reno. And so we've got a big line of storms moving through, very heavy rain. Rusty's in the Moore area reporting pea-sized hail inside of that thunderstorm down in the Moore area right now. So watching that thunderstorm down there along Southwest 149th, just north of there, west sides of Moore, along the Highway 37 there over to near Will Rogers. You go along Airport Road into Mustang is where we have the heaviest storm right now near Southwest 89th. So between Mustang and Wheatland is where the most intense part of the storm is at this moment. And that tracks on up into Canadian County where we have heavy weather from Yukon back toward El Reno. If you're traveling eastbound in from Hydro, Hinton, Clinton, Weatherford, just keep in mind this storm, you're going to be encountering the storm and it's going to be probably causing some kind of delay. I suspect with the water on the roadways. There's probably some kind of, I wouldn't be surprised with the kind of rain we have coming down, some kind of urban small stream type flooding event going on with this rain as it's falling there near I-40 and then just south of Yukon down into Mustang. Very, very heavy rainfall with this. Incredible lightning as well. And this storm is tracking to the east, to east-southeast now, moving into the western sides of the metro, running from near Bethany, south on the west sides of Oklahoma City, Will Rogers, extending over toward Yukon, Banner, and El Reno. And the movement on this, again, is toward the east-southeast. This is going to be around. This is going to be around for a while. Go ahead, Shanae, what was that again? Okay, let's go back to Rusty. Rusty, give us an update.
Jed, I'm just going to come out here and kind of give you an idea of just how crazy this is. The winds are picking up. I'd say they're probably at least 15 to 20 miles an hour here. Pea-sized hail falling about 5 minutes ago. The sheets of rain that are coming through, and we're seeing a lot of the vehicles that were on the road now coming off. The lightning is intense. The thunder is loud, and we're starting to see quite the collection of water. Look here. It's ponding up very quickly here and more. That is the latest. Right now, we're in the parking lot of Target. Jed, we'll go back to you in the studio.
Okay, Rusty, great report there. And what he's dealing with there is that rain is coming down so heavy that it's just not having a chance to absorb into the ground at all. There's a live view from our tower cam looking toward downtown Oklahoma City. Really a wild shot as we've got a beautiful sunrise coming up on the eastern sides of the state. While you look toward the west, look at this rainbow that extends all the way from one side of the rainbow all the way to the other. So we have an entire rainbow going on with this giant thunderstorm complex that's moving in. Kind of a cool shot there with that cloud mass there, those thunderstorms, the cumulonimbus clouds that are billowing there off in the distance here of Oklahoma City. So we're watching those. That's what's going on now. It's the south and east sides of Oklahoma City where we're dealing with this thunderstorm complex that's moving in. There's downtown Oklahoma City, and we're watching this roll on in, and then just a little right of there, there's the rainbows. Kind of a really neat shot there to show you this morning as that storm moves on in. The sun is up on the eastern horizon, but here in the metro, we're dealing with a severe thunderstorm warning right now from near Will Rogers World Airport, Mustang up toward El Reno. We'll be back with another update coming up right after this.
This is Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning with severe weather in high definition.
Severe weather, and as the sun's just coming up, you can see it is a complete washout really coming down this morning. Jed is tracking those storms for you. Some of those severes, we're hearing all kinds of reports of hail.
Yeah, we're getting a report out of Little Axe. The folks there, obviously, with roof damage, they need some tarps over there. If you have any tarps and you can help them out, just be careful putting those up with the lightning. And also reports of power outages in northeast Norman right now, Jed.
That's a crazy shot we have right now from Bill Newton. There's a live shot from Moore. It looks like it's almost flooding, guys, from that live shot there. Let's get a couple updates. Let's start you with Fig real quick and get you an update with his live report. Fig, it looks like you're seeing the sun coming up, but you're also in a kind of a sun rainstorm this morning.
I'll tell you what, Jed, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. A bright sunshine sky in the east, and I'm in what is kind of a minor flash flooding. You can't even hardly drive in the outside lanes because the water is so deep. And it just dumped just all of a sudden out here by the airport. So, folks, we need to pay attention to the water this morning because it'll catch you off guard in a hurry.
Fig, what's your current location?
I'm at Airport Road, coming up on Meridian.
Okay, very good. So you're right there on the eastern side of that storm line. Let's go down to Moore where we've got Rusty Surrett. Rusty, I'll tell you what, that rain is just coming down in buckets there.
It is intense out here this morning, Jed. We're in the parking lot of Moore here on 19th Street. And this, Fig said it just right. It is one of the most eerie things that I've seen because on this side, you've got dark clouds, and I'm pointing out here toward the west. But then on the east side, you've got the sun that's coming up, but it's just coming barely through a lot of these storm clouds, and it's creating this almost desert color that is out here. Just about 10 minutes ago, we had pea-sized hail that was falling. And I'll tell you, the big concern of mine right now, Jed, there's so much rain that is falling at such a heavy rate right now. We're starting to see a lot of buildup here in the parking lot. And I'm seeing cars that are pulling off of 19th Street into a lot of the parking lots of these businesses. That's going to be a big issue right now this morning, the flooding and the ponding on some of these side roads. Jed, back to you.
Well, let me ask you a quick question there. In the Moore area, people are pulling off. There's still a lot of debris on the ground. I mean, is there a chance when people pull off on a road, there are actually still debris where they get flat tires?
Absolutely. I mean, just here in the parking lot, there are chunks of wood, and there are still the chances of people pulling off into any of these parking lots that have been swept up by some of the volunteers. And a lot of that wood still has large nails. Just yesterday afternoon, we were looking at a number of police cars that were having to change their tires because they were pulling into some areas that had some of the piles that have been swept up. So just be careful if you are down here in this area and you're having to pull off on the side, and that may be a big possibility this morning. You may end up running into some of this debris that still remains on the ground.
Okay, great report there, Rusty. Here's a live look at radar, and as we show you the live view, there's a view from our Integris cam. Let's get a quick update from Stan.
Well, I was just going to add to what Rusty was saying. Yesterday, when we were out there doing live shots, they were using front-end loaders to clear those parking lots and clear the streets because anywhere you live in the Moore area, there are nails everywhere that have flown from this storm. But especially in these parking lots, we were seeing a lot of wood with nails sticking out.
Well, with all the water rushing to, it's going to wash that down into areas where maybe it wasn't before. So, but
they have cleaned a lot of that up.
There's your city cam shots. That's a live view from our Sandridge Sky Cam. The picture on the left is the storm. It's on the south and west sides of Oklahoma City. If we can go to Weather Live here and let's get a quick update here, we'll show you where the storm is right now. Here is Oklahoma City. That's downtown Oklahoma City. There's Edmond, there's Moore, there's Norman, and then here's the storm. It's on the west sides of Oklahoma City from El Reno, Yukon, Mustang, down toward Moore. And let me just tell you the trends here in the last 15 minutes. We've seen a lot of improvement. The really mean, ferocious hail core that we had, it's kind of gone away. This is turning out just to be a rainstorm with some small hails. That threat for hail, it looks like it's dissipating right now, but it is hailing, and we have heavy rain right now, lightning going on, so power outage is still possible from Moore back toward Mustang, back over toward El Reno. You do see a little hail marker right there, that little diamond signal there. That indicates probably maybe as much as golf ball size hail still possible with this, but I'm suspecting that it's probably going to be smaller than that as we watch that hail core start to dissipate. A lot of times what will happen too, when you see these giant, really high, what we call high reflectivity cores disappear, actually wind is coming down. So that can also create some strong wind gusts too. So I wouldn't be surprised if the winds are coming up down around Mustang and the southwest sides of Oklahoma City right now as the storm line really forms up and begins to push on toward the south and east here into Oklahoma City. So there's another view. Pathfinder right now shows storms from near Kingfisher, Okarche, Piedmont, from near El Reno. El Reno, the storm is almost over for you. As you see, the movement on this is toward the east-southeast. My biggest concern right now is going to be some urban and small stream flooding from southwest sides of Oklahoma City down into Mustang, maybe to northeast parts of Grady County from Tuttle over to north of Blanchard, Newcastle, Moore area. This area, that core is just not moving very quick, and it is coming down in buckets. So you can get some definitely ponding and hydroplaning on the roads, and if there are areas that are not very, they don't drain very well, which some communities don't have very good drainage. The possibility, therefore, flash flooding is definitely something we'll have to concern ourselves with, as the most intense core now runs from Mustang into the west sides of Moore, southwest Oklahoma City right now. A little closer view shows that storm line running from now Moore, Will Rogers World Airport over toward Mustang. So it's going to be Airport Road or 152 that we're watching right here. That core is extending through far north sides of McLean, Cleveland counties over into northeast Grady County, far southwest sides of Oklahoma County, back into Canadian County, and then back up into Canadian County is where we have the most intense part of this storm. Up around Mercy Hospital, you're looking good. The Village looking good. OCU looking good. Lake Aluma, Spencer, Del City, no problems right now. But you can see some of that heavy weather is pushing into Oklahoma City right now as it tracks on toward the east, southeast, with the most intense hail core right now from Mustang, Will Rogers, on over towards OCCC, and then just south of there, right there along Highway Interstate 44, down probably to about Earlywine Golf Course. So from Earlywine back over to Mustang, that's where the most intense hail and lightning is located right now. Very heavy rain still coming out of this storm line. So this is a live view from our Norman cam. It's pointed on toward the north as that storm continues to funnel right on into the Norman area. And a live view from our tower cam looking from Oklahoma City. It is really getting heavy here in the central part of the state. Let's go back to Fig real quick. Bill Newton, get a latest update. Fig, sounds like getting blown around a little bit.
Yeah, Jed, that came up all of a sudden. I'm on I-40 westbound around Meridian, and all of a sudden I got some pretty darn gusty winds that almost got me off the road there. So folks need to be paying attention out here.
That was something that I was watching on radar, Fig. The core of the storm has weakened a little bit, and I think it's kind of collapsed. As it collapses, you can get gusty winds that form from that. So this is possible. We're going to have some wind gusts maybe to 50, maybe 60 miles per hour as this storm collapses a bit. Still watching very heavy rainfall as you're showing right now. So give us your update, Fig, on where you're located and what the conditions like in your area.
Okay, I'm I-40 westbound at MacArthur. Heavy rains right now. Pretty good winds right now blowing from south to the north, it appears. We do have quite a bit of ponding on the highway. You need to watch out, especially if you're in the outside lanes where they don't drain that well. It will catch your wheels and it will pull you off the ditch. So everyone needs to pay attention for it.
All right, great report there, Fig. Let's go back to Weather Live. I want to give you an update. Seeing some new activity forming up south of Oklahoma City. This is going to be in the Norman area, right along the river, down to Noble. That's a new thunderstorm firing up just east of Blanchard, right there along the spur from near Noble back over to Blanchard. This thunderstorm is really rapidly developing right here. There is some hail being reported with it, and it is tracking toward the south and east. Let's go back to the news desk and get an update from Bobby and Stan.
Tell you this, a lot of folks there in Newcastle are reporting this is very bad business for them because a lot of them had hail damage that hurt their roofs and it's causing leaks. And so this is just pouring into their already damaged homes. And then a lot of the folks, again, they lost their homes altogether.
That was a point that Stan made in Little Axe, and this storm line is headed toward Little Axe. So we're watching a severe thunderstorm tracking through more south sides of Oklahoma City, Yukon, and Mustang. We'll have another update coming up in just a moment.
Okay, you are watching News 9 this morning. We are going to stay in continuous coverage of the weather that's rolling through the metro right now. Some of it's severe, and we're going to stay with it until it's out of here for you.
Okay, this is a live looking more where Rusty Surrett is right now. Poor Rusty, he doesn't have any rain gear on. Somebody just texted me and asked, is this a part of his like reporter hazing or what?
Mama didn't put your galoshes on this morning or what?
No, I like being an idiot sometimes and jumping out into the bad weather. All right, I'll be honest with you. Hey, we do have, let me tell you just real quickly, we do have, again, some pea-sized hail falling right here on 19th Street and more. It's starting to pick up again. The rain's still coming down at a steady pace. Pea-sized hail. The winds have died down just a little bit, and we still have lightning and thunder. Ponding also an issue. I'm looking out in the parking lot, and this water is building up pretty quickly. And you got to think about those folks who are going to be going back into the neighborhoods and more. It was already muddy. Bobby, Stan, you know that. It was a muddy mess. This isn't going to make it any better.
Yeah, it's not, and it's going to get really moldy out there after this starts to dry out too. Fig's out on the road right now. Thank you, Rusty. And it is. This is one of those mornings, Fig, where you might want to take a little extra time and go out a little bit late if your boss doesn't mind.
That's for sure, Stan. If the rain is really coming down here on the west side of the city, I'm at I-40 and Morgan Road right now. The winds are still very gusty out here. A lot of ponding on the road, so if folks can delay till the storm gets out of the area, I would say they should do that.
Seeing some emergency flashers in that particular shot. What is that? Is that an ambulance or what is it?
Actually, that's the trash truck.
Trash truck. Well, we can see the trash truck, that's for sure. I wish everybody had lights like that. We'd have far fewer crashes in the metro.
I hear that.
Okay, Jed, again, we got to reiterate, the radar was completely clear a few hours ago, about 3 this morning, and then boom, rogue storms popped right up.
You know, it feels kind of like we're being held down on the ground and beaten up by a big weather bully.
Yeah, this is Oklahoma at its worst, guys, where you get these big storms that fire up, and they certainly can batter and bruise the state, but we've been through this plenty of times before. We know how to get back up pretty quickly. And you can see the live view on radar on the left. Thunderstorms tracking through the metro area. On the right, that is a shot from downtown Oklahoma City from our SandRidge Skycam, part of our SandRidge Skycam network, watching these storms track in here this morning. And the storm line runs right now from just northwest of Kingfisher, Piedmont, now just a little bit east of El Reno. Most intense storm. Rusty, if you're able to hear me, the most intense part of the storm is just to your west. It's moving in. There's also an intense storm just south of Norman, down toward Noble, and that extends down to east of Pauls Valley between Ada, Pauls Valley, probably near Stratford, and then just south and east of there. Want to go to Alan Brosey, storm tracker Alan Brosey, who is out on the roadways here this morning, and get a live update from Alan. Alan, give us your location and what the conditions are like where you're at.
Okay, Jed, I'm on the Belle Isle Bridge. I'm west or southwest bound right now on I-44, headed towards the airport area. Wanted to report a 3-car accident on the Belle Isle Bridge in the same direction I'm going west-southwest. That is going to cause a traffic snag for a little bit here. Right now, Jed, I've got rain falling, no hail, but a considerable amount of lightning. Okay, I've got a though now at the, oh my gosh, 3 separate accidents on the from Pennsylvania to the Belle Isle Bridge, both east and westbound. On I-44. Multiple cars involved, law enforcement out here. I'm not sure what happened. They must have got a blinding rain through here, Jed. But
okay, we're seeing it on your stream now, Alan.
I see 6 or 7 cars involved in one, 3 cars in another, and 3 cars in the third one. So stay off I-44 right now. If you got to get on I-44, get off at May Avenue.
Okay.
Or on that western bypass Pennsylvania, bypass Belle Isle Bridge, and get back on at Broadway or something.
Okay.
It's a mess.
Alan, we're gonna keep your stream live, but we want to go to Ken Johnson at KOKC AM 1520. Let's get a live update from Ken Johnson with the traffic.
Well, Alan was dead on about that crash. We have multiple car crashes along I-44, anywhere from the Belle Isle Bridge all the way back west to May. And again, you're going to encounter some delays in that area. We have, as Alan was mentioning, crashes near eastbound 44 in Penn, also eastbound 44 in May, and then a couple of cars involved in that, as Alan mentioned, there on the Belle Isle Bridge. We also have one out on I-40 and Cimarron Road, a car apparently hydroplaning off into the cable barrier. So we're going to keep having this as the rain continues to fall, Jed.
All right, great job there, Ken. Let's get an update from Bobby.
Well, I just wanted to tell you this. I had a friend just text me, said, glad I got up early and watched, saved me from driving through all that. Tell Jed thanks, because he drives from Edmond to El Reno, and he said, I'm just going to go in late today.
You know, also, we're getting some rain and hail reports from Southwest 134th and Western Jed and Del City. Pretty heavy rain, thunder. Tamara says her street is flooded right now.
Yeah.
And you know, the really sad part about this is that all these places, Little Axe and Newcastle and more, what these people had that they were going to be able to go back to and try to dig out of their homes, what they had left is going to be ruined because of this kind of weather. So this is really upsetting.
It is, Stan. Continues, though, and we'll just continue to track it as it moves across the metro. You can see the live view on radar on the left, a heavy to severe thunderstorm tracking through the metro. Want to make sure, as folks are waking up this morning, if you get some hail reports or if you're getting some reports of flooding in your area, if you just will get a quick status update to Stan, Bobby, or myself on my Facebook page. Let us know what you're seeing, especially on those hail sizes. And if you're seeing flooding, those are probably the 2 key elements we're having to track most closely. Those are really important elements of information. Also, if your power's flickering or if your power has gone out, that's also a key update as well as we go through our round robin of our city cams. I do want to go back to Rusty. Rusty, that storm, the worst of it looks like it's heading your way. Let's get an update from you.
Well, Jed, it is still coming down very hard here in Moore, and we jumped in the truck just to dry off a little bit, but you can see the lightning behind me. It's still going strong. We had another wave of pea-sized hail that came through probably 90 seconds ago. It came through. It was very brief, and then it stopped. We still have just sheets of rain that are all around me. The wind is picking up just a little bit right now, Jed, and we still got a lot of lightning and thunder and that water in the parking lot. Well, it is building up big time right now. Jed?
Okay, flash flood warning will be in continues for McLean County, Oklahoma County, Central Kingfisher County, Northeastern Grady County, Cleveland County, Eastern Canadian, Southwestern Logan. So Logan, Canadian, Cleveland, Grady, Kingfisher, Oklahoma, McLean counties, all be prepared. The threat for flash flooding is in effect. That's issued here as of 6:42. Radar is indicating heavy rain, up to 1 to 2 inches of rain already have fallen. Flash flooding is most likely occurring. So for those roads that you are aware of that do not drain well, be very careful driving over those flood-prone areas. Do expect another 1 to 3 inches of rainfall possible as this system, it's moved in, guys, and it has dropped anchor. It is not moving at all. And there's also a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. It continues for Cleveland County and McLean County with hail to the size of ping pong balls. I want to go back to radar real quick and we'll take a break. Let's go to the view here on Pathfinder. We have a line of heavy to severe storms, very heavy rain from Okarche, Piedmont, moving into the Village, Edmond, southwest parts of Oklahoma City. Most intense core right now from Moore back to the west, north of Blanchard. We'll be watching this very closely. Flash flooding, severe weather both possible. Stay with News 9. We'll keep you advised. We have a dangerous situation developing here in Oklahoma City with the threat for flash flooding now becoming a major issue. A lot of folks are getting out of the roadways right now. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect from Kingfisher down through Canadian, Oklahoma, on down to McLean and Cleveland counties with a line of thunderstorms here that is tracking through right now. That is one concern. The other concern, again, is flash flooding along this line of storms that's moving through. It's moving through much slower now than it was, say, 30 minutes ago. It's just creeping along. So really, it's almost what we'll say just dropped anchor over the metro. And we've got some very heavy rain falling right now. Oklahoma City, Norman, Moore, back over to north of Blanchard, Newcastle, then extending up toward El Reno, Mustang. These areas that are flood prone are going to have a high likelihood of flooding. Flash flooding is a high likelihood with this line of storms now as it tracks into Oklahoma City, just creeping along. More storms extend back up toward Kingfisher. Those will try to build on down our way. So dangerous situation developing this morning. Flash flooding kills more people than tornadoes, lightning, or hail. So flash flooding is always the biggest concern. So you have to be very careful. Would not recommend getting on the roadways right now, honestly. We've had numerous accidents form. People are not driving very safely in these thunderstorms as they move through. So, and there's lots of traffic backups going on right now. We'll get another update from Ken Johnson here in just a moment. We do want to go to Rusty, kind of right in the heart of this storm right now. That storm right there is tracking right into Moore. Rusty, give us a quick update on that storm as it tracks on in.
Jed, the rain here has not let up in probably the last 45 minutes, and that's starting to become a real big problem out here. We're in the parking lot of that Target store on 19th Street, just on the west side of I-35, and it has not stopped, and we're starting to see that buildup of water here in the parking lot, and I'm looking at a lot of cars. They're still coming in from off of 19th and here in the parking lot and just kind of staying put, which honestly, right now is probably the best thing to do. Just get off the roads, wait until this passes if you can, because it's starting to get to be a real issue here with the water buildup. Jed?
Okay, Stan, do you have an update for me?
No, we're just getting the same thing that you did. We're going to be talking with Officer Jeremy Lewis with Moore PD here after the break.
Okay.
OGME System Watch. Earlier, we reported 6,500 power outages. It's now up to 6,800, which means this storm is affecting.
Okay, so 300 people roughly without power. So lightning is causing outages. We just had a little flash here in the studio as well. Let's go to Bill Newton, who's live out on the streets right now. Traffic accidents are becoming more numerous. Fig, let's get an update from you.
Yeah, Jed, I just went by the accident that was reported earlier out by Cimarron Road on I-40 West. It's actually two cars. One car spun into the center cable barriers. The other car spun off the side of the road to the north side of the highway. And they have the traffic down to one lane there now. So, folks, it's pretty slow moving if you're going westbound on I-40 out around Cimarron Road. It's still raining pretty good out here. Still a little windy, not quite as bad as it was, but the rains are still heavy.
Okay, let's go to Stan real quick. Stan?
Well, Trudy writes in that they've got pea-sized hail, more rain than they can handle. County line and the 152 area.
That's Mustang. Okay, let's go to Ken Johnson. Ken, a quick update. It seems like it's going nuts out there.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of activity out there on I-44. Multi-car crashes anywhere from May all the way to the Belle Isle Bridge, and that is in both directions. A new accident dropping at westbound I-40 and Morgan Road. Jed?
Ken, what's the total number of accidents you have reported so far?
Right now, I have a total of 5 accidents reported, but many of those are multi-car crashes along I-44. Alan Brosey, of course, telling you a few minutes ago about the numerous cars that are involved. There must have been a blinding rainstorm in that area.
Okay, you can see the radar on the left side of the screen. Heaviest part of that storm right now moving into the Moore area. We're going to be tracking it, keeping you going with continuous coverage here on News 9. Stay with News 9.
News 9 this morning, continuous coverage of this severe weather we have in the metro right now.
You can see it pouring down right here, a drive through the metro. It is a wet one, even dangerous in many parts. Jed, please update us on the danger of this with the flash flooding.
Okay, the flash flood warning continues in effect. I want to go and take that live here, go to Weather Live and show you that to you real quick. It's going to be for a large area, including Logan, Kingfisher, Canadian, Grady, Oklahoma, McLean, and Cleveland counties right now. Our CBS programming, by the way, is over on 9.2 if you want to watch that coverage. But we're going to stay with live coverage of the severe weather that's going on. Severe storms updating now continue from Kingfisher County down through the west sides of Oklahoma City, south toward Norman, and also down toward the west sides of McLean County. The view on radar this morning, and there are some radar trends I want to give you an update to. The worst part of the storm now is tracking in the south sides of Oklahoma City. Now, folks in Norman, you're well aware that the flooding in the Norman area is always a high likelihood whenever you get heavy rainfall. The drainage systems just are not very good. So flash flooding is going to be very high likelihood around Norman with this heavy rain coming in. The heaviest part of the storm right now is just northwest of Norman, west sides of Moore. This is going to be over near the I-40 corridor, South Oklahoma City, Earlywine Golf Course, on down to near Newcastle. That's where we have the heaviest storm. Heavy rain, lightning, hail with that. As you go up this line, the northern part of this line is not as intense as it was, say, 30 minutes ago. So we're seeing some trending going on. The heaviest part of this line is now shifting into the south parts of the metro. But just keep in mind, there's still heavy rain in and along this storm line right now. So flash flooding continues to be a major threat, something we're very concerned about. Also, there's going to be a threat for some large hail. Let's go out to Rusty Surrett and get a live report from Rusty, who's right in the middle of that really big, bad storm. Rusty, go ahead. Okay, let's go to Fig and get a quick update from Fig, who's out on the streets. Fig, now you've noticed some car accidents here just a moment ago. Have you seen any more of those?
Have not more accidents yet, Jed. And the rain is not quite as heavy as it was. I'm just at Morgan Road now, I-40 Morgan Road. West of here, it was pretty heavy. I mean, it's still raining, but for some reason it's not quite as much. So I'm not sure what the deal is here, but I'm heading eastbound on I-40. And I'm sure the rain will be picking up as I get farther east.
Are you noticing the people driving according to the weather conditions?
They seem to be driving as they normally would. They really need to slow down some, I think, especially with the ponding on the road, because it will catch you off guard. That's what happened at that accident I saw back at Cimarron Road, I'm sure. They hit the ponding, it hydroplaned, and there they went to the cable barrier.
Okay, great report there. And your current location again is?
I'm I-40 and coming up on, Morgan Road.
Okay, Morgan Road and I-40, north sides of Mustangs, Yukon, far southwest Oklahoma City. Let's go to Alan Brosey, who also is in the metro. Alan, give us an update. Are you seeing any more traffic accidents?
No, Jed, I haven't seen any more traffic accidents, but I have encountered some extremely heavy rains down here on I'm on Highway 62, just crossed the river bridge from 149th and going into the Tri-City area. Lots and lots of lightning. This is a very intense electrical storm dropping lots and lots of rain as well, Jed. The visibility sometimes is less than 100 yards, so drivers need to be very, very cautious when they're out here on the roads. Ponding is a problem right now, even on Highway 62. They just need to be very, very careful and slow down.
Okay, Alan, give me your location again.
Okay, I'm Highway 62 and the South Canadian River Bridge. I'm headed back into the 149th Street area now.
Okay, why don't you get a little further east, get over toward the I-35 corridor, get a little closer to Norman. That's kind of where the worst of the storm is headed.
Okay, I can do that. I'm going to have to drop down to Highway 9.
Okay. I think that's fair. That's fair. That's an area that's getting that heavy weather still this morning as well. So there's the live view from our city cams as you look at our live shots and city cams. Wet roadways. Storm continues. It's mainly on the far western and southwest sides of Oklahoma City. That is a live view right now from the Moore area that was absolutely pounded with the tornado here several days ago. Now getting pounded by a severe thunderstorm. Flash flood warnings for the Moore area. And really, just a really miserable sight here this morning in Moore. Let's go to Stan and get a quick update.
Well, Gail Clark Facebooked me, and she says, hail, hard rain, flooding on Southwest 22nd.
Okay, any size on that hail?
No, didn't give a size.
All right, are you getting any flooding reports?
I am getting
yet?
a large golf ball size hail, wind, heavy rain, 116th Cedar Valley Drive off 119th Western. 119th and Western.
Okay, that's Southwest 119th?
Golf ball size hail. So I would say Cedar Valley Drive, I would think that would be, I don't know.
I'm not sure where that's at.
I would think that would be northwest.
It might be Southwest 119th, and that's going to be down around that Newcastle Mustang area. That's kind of the worst part of that storm is right now. We want to go out to Rusty Surrett. Rusty, you're kind of been battered by this storm. It keeps coming in waves. What kind of wave is moving through at this exact moment?
That's right, and this hasn't stopped for the last hour. We were out here this morning, and we saw lightning off in the distance starting at about 4 o'clock this morning. And look at that. Well, you can see just the rain coming down and still intense lightning, thunder, heavy rain sheets that are coming through. The wind is starting to pick up once again. There were 2 times in the 6 o'clock hour we had pea-size hail that came through here. It is loud this morning with the thunder. If people were not woken up earlier when this all started at about 6 o'clock, and I'm talking the real heavy part coming through, surely they have to be up now because the thunder is just loud out here this morning, and we're starting to see a lot of the water still ponding up and gathering on the parking lot here of the Target store on 19th Street, where there is a command center for the cleanup and recovery for Monday's tornado. Jed, back to you, sir.
Just for a second. Rusty, thank you. What you're looking at is a live picture from Moore where it is pounding rain, and this is an Oklahoma County Sheriff's little command post that they set up, and these folks are just kind of having to pile in to ride this out. Did you see that big sheet of rain that just flew off of the top of that little canopy that they have right there? And it's really windy. Notice the camera shaking around there. The conditions are not good for the hundreds of rescue workers out there.
Well, and from what I'm hearing, first responders and police departments are working 12 hours on, 12 hours off, 7 days a week right now for probably the next few months.
I need to come back real quick. Let's go to Pathfinder. I want to take this Pathfinder full, and show you the storm that's down in the Blanchard area. This is rapidly intensifying. There are some very strong winds forming with this storm. West sides of Norman, down toward Blanchard. Alan, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, Alan, we have an intensifying storm now. West sides of Norman. This will be right on the McLean-Cleveland line between there along the spur back down to Blanchard. I am seeing on Doppler right now some intensifying winds with this storm. Are you getting any winds increasing in your area right now?
Yeah, Jed, the winds are right now coming out of the storm from the west about 20, 25 miles per hour, but I haven't seen anything over that yet.
Okay, it looks like there's a comma head kind of a formation starting to form west of the Norman area. So, Alan, I want you to stay on that area there. Give me your location again.
Okay, I'm coming into Newcastle right now on Highway 62.
Okay, I want to zoom in here. Okay, so you're in Newcastle. It's this area, west sides of Norman. There's Newcastle. It's going to be just south of Newcastle, Allen, near Blanchard. It looks like we may have some higher wind velocities right now. Been watching Mesonet, and I don't see anything that looks too ominous right now, but the velocities I'm seeing on radar look a little suspicious. Right now, the highest wind gust I have is a wind gust of about 22, 23 miles per hour. We had a storm like this just a couple of days ago south down around Kreiner and Ninnekah that did produce a 77-mile-per-hour wind gust that had kind of a similar cloud formation and a radar presentation. So we're going to watch this closely. It looks like it's intensifying west of Norman, just west of I-35, near I-35, west of there, right along the spur, Highway 9 spur over to near Bridge Creek, down toward Blanchard. Stan?
On the phone right now, Betsy Randolph with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. And Betsy, we've been telling people all morning, hey, if you can wait a little while to go into work this morning, be a good idea. What are you seeing?
I say that's a great idea, Stan. Not only has traffic been crazy out on the interstate, it looks pretty good this morning. However, with the weather that's moved in, we're really asking folks if you can delay 15, 20, 30 minutes, even up to an hour. That would not only help you to be less stressed, but we'd have less collisions out on the interstate. I know we've got a lot of folks that want to get out and move about, and a lot of kids are their last day of school today, and I know that they're excited about that. So we don't have much choice but to get those little people to school. But if you don't have to be out moving around this morning, you might want to wait till the storms calm down, move through the area, and then you can get out. And we're grateful for this rain, though, aren't we?
We are, but we are also concerned about that flash flooding. Anything in particular you're hearing from areas on that?
Now say that one more time, Bobby.
We are thankful for that rain. That is a great point to point out. But you know what? We're worried about that flash flooding. Hearing any reports of anything in particular with that?
Well, we have had some problems with that already this morning. People running highway speeds on the interstate, and then they'll get to low-lying areas, especially on our bridges and overpasses. There's sometimes where those junctions where the roadway meets the bridge or overpass, and there's a little bit of tendency for water to pool. And so we are seeing people having problems with hydroplaning. Remember, don't set your cruise control when it's wet or icy on the roadway. Your vehicle is best if you can feel with your foot how the vehicle is tracking. And so we ask you not to set your cruise control. We're going to find that you're going to have an easier time driving this morning. And just remember just to reduce your speed for the conditions that are present.
Betsy, thank you so much. And if you see anything out there, be sure and call in, let us know if that we need to get out to the public. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I'll pass it on to you.
All right. We're here in Charlene Wilson tells me, wow, this is some crazy weather going on here off Sand Rock Road and Sarah Road, Grady County, Bridge Creek area.
That is exactly where my parents live. I'm telling you, they're right there on that Sand Creek Road. And it is bizarre over there right now because they had a lot of damage themselves.
There's a little, we'll call it a Doppler signature. It's not tornadic, but there may be a little gusty wind moving through Blanchard. So if you hear from your parents, Bobby, I'm sure they're going to be able to give us a good report on that.
We are trying to get them on the phone right now. Our producers are working on it. I think they should be up, especially awakened by this.
Oh, you bet. It's been a very noisy start this morning. These are some live views from our city cams and our storm trackers that are out on the roadways right now. I do want to go through a quick run through with some graphics. I want to show these to you real quick. If we can go through the flash flood warning that continues here this morning for the next couple of hours. Kingfisher, Logan, Oklahoma, back into Canadian, portions of Grady, McLean, and Cleveland counties. It's going to be in this area right in here that's had these really ferocious storms that have fired up in the last hour. It's really within this yellow shaded area you see. Flash flood warning is in effect. We've already had 1 to 2 inches of rain. An additional 1 to 3 inches of rain are possible along this line of storm. So if you live within this yellow shaded area, if this is your area, be extremely careful. I'm in complete agreement with Officer Randolph, Stan, and Bobby saying do not get on the streets until this storm line is passed because the flooding is going to only get worse before it has a chance to recede as these storms finally start to wind down. And they're not winding down yet, but they're trying to get close. Heaviest part of the storm is now south of Oklahoma City. It's in this Oh, the Blanchard area right there is where the most intense part of the storm is, and that storm area is tracking more south. I've seen some velocities that look like they're intensifying, meaning there may be some gustier winds with this storm line right here. Back over toward Norman, very heavy rain that runs right down I-35. So if you're in Oklahoma City and you're wanting to track down I-35, I would wait a bit till this storm line either passes or until it dissipates. It's just not moving very quickly, and it extends from north of Kingfisher through Piedmont, Oklahoma City, Norman, down to just east of Pauls Valley. And that's been the line all morning long. It's a little bit east of where it was. Folks in El Reno, things look like they've improved for you just a bit after being a very stormy morning. So it is tracking a little bit to the east, but it's a slow movement. Still these areas, south sides of Oklahoma City, Moore, Norman, Newcastle, southeast sides of Mustang. Those are the areas we're most concerned with. Bobby?
My mom on the phone. This is Loretta, and I really want you to talk to her because you have the best questions for her. So good morning, Mom. Say hi to Jed.
Hi, Loretta.
Hi, Jed.
So if I said talk to me, Loretta, would that be
it sounds like Gary.
Gary England?
Get back home, Loretta.
That's right. Talk to me, Loretta. Hey, Loretta, good morning to you. You've got a great daughter, by the way. We love her here at News 9.
Oh, I appreciate that, and I think
like her.
Great.
Give us a quick update what the conditions are like in the Blanchard area right now.
Well, actually, as of about 5 minutes ago at our house, it calmed down. I jumped up out of bed at 10 till 7 because I could hear the wind.
Okay.
But we've had some rotating trees here. It's raining like a flood, and I have limbs down in my yard once more.
Okay.
So just a few minutes ago, those trees were just treetops. I call them tree twisters. It was just going around and around.
Okay.
Scaring me a little.
Okay, yeah, so that's that storm that's been rolling through, but you're saying right now things are calming down in Blanchard.
At my house, and I'm north of Blanchard about 4 miles, but at my house, the trees have stopped rotating.
Okay.
And it's just rain.
Okay, great report, Loretta. We really appreciate that. Great report, and if you get any more information from the Blanchard area that you feel like you need to report, please come back on with us, okay?
Okay.
Great report. Okay, thank you. Let's go back to the computer real quick, Storm Shield, and show you this storm line. Again, Loretta is in the Blanchard area. This is Bobby's mother.
And Jed, she's near the spur you were talking about.
Okay.
So that's exactly why I thought we needed to get her on as soon as possible.
Okay, I want to just do a quick zoom in on where she's located right now, because this is the area we're probably what we'll call most concerned with if there's going to be some wind. It's right along that line from I-35 Norman, west of I-35, right there along the Highway 9 spur, down to west of Goldsby, down to Cole. It's within that line. That's where we have these stronger winds. And she said twisting winds, which kind of catches your attention. But I do not see any tornadoes showing up on Doppler, but I do see some higher wind velocities showing up right now in Blanchard. As you can see, things have calmed down just a bit. Stan?
Well, we've got some breaking news right now, Jed. We have a report of a roof collapse in the 1800 block of East 152nd in Mustang. A roof has collapsed. Fire and rescue are en route. Obviously, this is probably rain-related, and we're going to find out more details.
If you guys remember when I was saying this here just a moment ago, I talked about that thunderstorm, how that core quickly weakened.
Right.
And I said when this core quickly weakens, a lot of times you get a downdraft. There might have been a microburst at that specific spot. I would not be surprised at all if that happened.
A lot of these homes are already weakened by so much rain in so little time.
Okay, this is going to be up in the Mustang area. And what's the specific location on that again?
In the 1800 block of East 152nd Street in Mustang.
Okay, let's go back to Pathfinder real quick. I want to just show you a quick update, and this is some good news for Mustang. Things are calming down in Mustang. Folks in Mustang, the storm is now south and east of you. Things are improved. Still seeing a lot of rain around Oklahoma City right now, but it's not intense. It's just some general type storms. Still a heavy storm up near Piedmont. It looks like this is kind of breaking up into two clusters. One cluster right now is north of Oklahoma City, northwest of Oklahoma City, from Piedmont, Okarche, Kingfisher to Hennessy. And the second part has now shifted south of Oklahoma City from now south of Moore down to Norman, Purcell, down to near the Stratford area. Let's go to a quick update from Bobby.
Got Kathy Johnson on the phone. She is in Norman. We're really feeling for our friends in Cleveland County this morning. Kathy, good morning to you. Tell us about this pea-sized hail you're seeing there in Norman.
Hi, yes. Good morning. I'm on Main Street near Sooner Mall, to give people an idea of where it is. The peak-sized hail came down about, I guess, 5 minutes ago while I actually was waiting on the phone for you guys. And it's pooling on the lawn. There was so much at one time.
Wow.
Storm comes in waves. And it'll rain real hard, and then it'll let up a little bit. And then right now it looks like we're getting another wave, and the wind is starting to pick up again. And it's fairly strong winds. It looks like maybe 20 miles an hour, just guessing. And the streets here aren't starting to flood yet, but I can see pools of water starting to develop in some areas on the sidewalks and things like that, driveways.
It's bound to happen there in Norman. There are lots of areas in that city that are very prone to flooding. Touch one more time on those winds, because we heard about those swirling winds not too far from your neighbors in Blanchard there.
Right, yes. I don't see the twisting winds that she was describing. It's more normal winds, but they are a little bit more intense than normal.
Maybe some downed trees or even power lines in that area coming from that.
Let's go to Excel real quick. I want to show you what I was talking about on velocities. Now, velocities, a lot of times, it's really hard to pin down. Most people don't really know what we're looking at when we're talking about velocities here, but it's going to be this area near Blanchard, and I'm going to kind of zoom in here. Here's Norman, up where my cursor is pointing. Right down here, you see, watch that shade of pink really form up there, and it a little higher velocities there in and around Blanchard. See that go right through Blanchard, then south of there. That was that wind that came in, and that might have been the what I believe was a microburst in Mustang. That wind comes down and then it spreads out, and that's what we're having this storm now moving a bit further south than east, which is what has happened here just a moment ago. But really kind of fascinating meteorology going on there around Blanchard. There's the live view on XL, the reflectivity, and that storm is shifting south, moving through Blanchard. That's where some of the heaviest weather is right now. Maybe still golf ball size hail. That's something that may be possible between Blanchard and Norman this morning. Still a very heavy line of storms running from Norman, Noble, down to Purcell, down along I-35 to near Wayne. So if you're traveling southbound, I would not recommend traveling down I-35 at this moment as the storm continues to move southward. And again, we've had some strong winds. Roof collapse in the Mustang area. Stan and Bobby mentioning that just a moment ago. Bobby, are we getting any new updates on the roof collapse, or have there been any other structures damaged are you aware of at this point?
No, but you know what? We'll just update folks who are just joining us. That was in Mustang on East 152nd and the 1800 block. Again, a roof collapse. There are no new updates, but we do have a crew on the way.
Okay, very good. The other threat is flash flooding, and she had mentioned, I was trying to multitask, Bobby, so wasn't able to listen in completely.
Sure.
What was she saying about flooding in Norman?
She said it's bound to happen because, as we know, Norman has several areas that are prone to that, and so she said, I don't see it yet, but she's waiting on it because she knows.
Okay. What we can do, we can go to a Pathfinder and just kind of zoom right on into Norman, just give our Norman residents a quick update. And how about that shot right there? Let's go.
That's that pea-sized hail she mentioned piling
let's
up.
go to your shot real quick and let's talk to you. Give us an update.
All right, Jed, I'm in Blanchard. I'm on the north side between Blanchard and Highway 9 Spur. You can see from the shot that's pea-sized hail that's built up and just rolled right off the road here. Lots and lots of it is stacked up. They probably had a half inch of hail at one time on the highway, and it's running off and grouping up. Lots of water in the ditches. You can see from the shot there. Roads are ponding. They've probably got a rate of it in half an hour down here, Jed.
Sirens are going off in Blanchard right now.
Downtown.
In downtown Blanchard.
If he could head downtown.
Okay.
Go Highway 76.
Okay, we're being told now it's a malfunction.
Okay, that's so good to know.
That is a malfunction. But you can see.
That's scary.
Large hail with that. If we can go real quickly to Pathfinder, I want to zoom in to where Allen is located. Allen is right here in Blanchard, southeast of there, right over Cole. We see that this storm has a history of producing small but high amounts of hail, and enough to collect that where it comes down, it gathers with the heavy rain and kind of collects in kind of pods, and very heavy rain and very frequent hail, small hail going on with this right now. Tammy, do you have an update for us?
You've been talking a lot about Mustang. High water there, obviously a critical concern right now, Jed, because Southwest 59th and Check Hall Road is impassable. The road is shut down. For those of you who take that way to work, avoid Southwest 59th and Check Hall Road. Also, we've received a report of a stranded motorist at Southwest 59th and MacArthur. We're checking on that for you. Ken Johnson, I-44. We know there are multiple cars that have wrecked on I-44. The corridor we're getting from OHP is Classen to Penn on I-44. Right now, Canadian, Cleveland, Lincoln, Logan, McLean, Oklahoma, and Pottawatomie counties, as you know, Jed, have water on them this morning.
Okay, so give us the specific streets again, Tammy, that you have reported as being flooded.
Sure. Southwest 59th and Check Hall Road, impassable right now.
That's Yukon, correct?
That is Mustang.
That's Mustang.
And then Southwest 59th and MacArthur, we have word of a stranded motorist.
Okay,
so there's some flash flooding, clearly.
Right there along the Mustang-Yukon line, far southwest Oklahoma City.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Mustang's really getting hit with a lot of water.
Okay. Any new update on the house roof collapse?
No, still no update. We're still waiting.
Okay, we're going to be sending a live crew to the Mustang area where Stan, about 30 minutes ago, that was an update?
Yeah, 1800 block of East 152nd Street.
Okay.
So if you're in that area, stay away.
Okay, and what I was looking at radar at that time, the reflectivity on that storm near Mustang quickly, it really just kind of died out, real quickly died out. And when you see that, a lot of times the storm collapses fast, and that's when you can get those kind of microbursts. So we're dealing with the line of storms. You see it on the left side of the screen. We have our city cams, our sky cams up right now. That's a live view from downtown Oklahoma City. Our Sandbridge sky cam right now. Really nothing too threatening in the Oklahoma City area right now. Just some general type thunderstorms. There's Northwest Expressway, Hefner Parkway. There's a live view from our tower cam looking toward downtown Oklahoma City. So we have heavy rain moving through Oklahoma City that will cause ponding on the roads, hydroplaning. The threat for flash flooding right now runs from Kingfisher, Piedmont, down to near Mustang and Norman. So flash flooding is one of our major concerns right now.
Jed, I need to correct this. We were saying 152nd. That is the 1800 block of Highway 152. Big difference.
Okay, very good. Highway 152.
Yes.
People in Mustang know what we're talking about more than likely. So
yeah.
Great update there. Let's go out to our storm trackers and live report. Let's talk to Alan Brosey and also Bill Newton this morning.
Okay, Jed, this is Alan. I'm on the north side of Blanchard. The rain has actually slowed down here. I'm gonna go back towards Norman where it seems to be more intense. I can see actually clearing starting to happen to my west. So that may be a good sign that this storm's trying to shove a little to the east southeast and maybe get out of here eventually.
What's your location right now, Alan?
Okay, I'm about 2 north of downtown Blanchard.
Okay, are you on the spur?
I'm headed back to the spur. Yes.
Okay, might head to the spur, get over to the Norman area and see if we've got some flooding in that area.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like this storm line is starting to weaken, guys. We've got some good news to report. It hasn't weakened completely. We still have some intense areas along this line, but flash flooding, it looks like it's done some damage. We've had some reports from Tammy, South Yukon, North Mustang, inundated with high water. Roads becoming impassable due to flooding water on the southwest sides of Oklahoma City through Yukon and north parts of Mustang. And that's right about where we had that roof collapse right there along Highway 152. We can go to the live view on Storm Shield, show you the motion of the storm line and give you some radar trends and updates. Let's go ahead and take this full and show you what this storm line is doing. Still continues from near Kingfisher, Piedmont, on down through the south sides of Oklahoma City, through Norman, down to Pauls Valley. The most intense part of this storm, though, is now south of Oklahoma City. And it's that area around Norman, Blanchard, over to near Purcell, where we still have very intense lightning. I would not be surprised to see power outages because of the lightning that's forming with that storm that is now moving through McLean and also portions of Cleveland counties. New severe thunderstorm warnings going up now for Garvin County, including the Pauls Valley area. The southeast end of this line is very intense right now. We'll work our way up this line. You can see storms from near Roth and Stratford, near Byers, fires in Rosedale. That is an intense storm. Just folks around Wayne, Rosedale, Waynette, Purcell, just know the history of this storm line is very heavy rain, flooding rain, large hail, maybe up to the size of golf ball size hail. And also, if these storms collapse, they can produce some very intense bursts of winds, or what we'll call microburst type winds are possible. And those are really hard to be able to project as a meteorologist. They just tend to just happen, and we normally have to report on them after the fact. They happen so quickly. But very heavy rain, storms going on, parts of Cleveland, McLean counties. Most intense part of the storm now runs from Dibble near Cole over to near Noble. Folks in Norman, you still have some heavy weather in your area right along Highway 9 from near the campus up to near Norman. And then just some general type rain and storms run from near Norman up toward Moore, Stanley Draper, over toward the Dell Business Park, over towards downtown Oklahoma City, and then back to the west from near Bethany up to near Surrey Hills, Sundance Air Park, near Piedmont, up Highway 3 on over toward Okarche, and then you get up toward Kingfisher and Dover, and you can see storms continue there as well. Let's go back to Bobby.
I just got off the phone with the vice mayor of Goldsby. I kept hearing you mention that town, so I called her really quick. She said they did have pea-sized hail, very strong winds and heavy rain, and their satellite interception is messed up because of these storms, so they are not able in that town to watch us right now. So she said they've got their weather radios out.
Okay, very good.
And I've got a couple of updates for you. The Village PD just called us. They said no drivers are stranded, but they want everybody to be very aware on Britton Road between Penn and May. They've got a lot of problems over there right now, a lot of water. And Jed, now we're getting some word as to why maybe this roof collapsed over in Mustang. It's a flat roof, we're told. A viewer called in, says it's a flat roof building. One of the walls and the roof have collapsed. Hopefully, we don't know if it was a business or a residence, but hopefully no one was inside. Fig's on his way over there right now. We'll get an update.
That could be very heavy water on top of that roof causing
those flat roofs, you know how that just pools up.
Yeah. So these are some live pictures. Whose live shot is this right now, guys? Okay, Fig, you're passing by an accident right there. Let's get a live update from you.
Actually, I'm at the building that the roof collapsed. It's a small building, and the whole roof has collapsed on this thing. So I'm going to try to get off here without getting run over and see if I can give you a shot here in just a moment.
Well, let's keep your shot as you arrange your camera. Are you able to take your camera and point it towards that building?
I'm going to have to take it off the mount.
That's fine.
And get out of the vehicle, so it'll be waving around here for a
That's
little
okay.
bit.
You've kind of got the shot right now. I think we're all really wanting to find out the damage that's been done there in Mustang to that flat roof right there along Highway 152.
Okay, give me just a second to get my equipment rearranged. Okay?
Well, let's go to Alan Brosey and get a live report from Alan, who's I believe on the spur there on Highway 9, who's headed toward the Norman area. And let's get a live update from Alan. Alan, let's get an update from you. Give us your location and how are the conditions right now?
Okay, I'm on Highway 9. I'm about 3 miles east of the spur back there to Blanchard. I now light to moderate rain. Still got a lot of ponding on the highway. Lots and lots of runoff into the ditches over here. They've received massive amounts of rain. A lot of hail that did stack up. It was all pea size, maybe a little bit of dime size, but most of it small enough that there was probably no residual damage off of that. I'm headed towards I-35 right now, and it's still raining pretty hard in that direction. But right now, it's looking a little better down here, Jed.
Yeah, just looking at the radar trends, Alan, things are really improving now between Norman and Oklahoma City and the Moore area. I'm not sure if we can take Rusty's shot right now, but talk to Rusty. Rusty, you've been really under some of the heaviest conditions here this morning, and it looks like conditions are actually improving here this morning. Okay, we're going to talk to Rusty here in just a moment, but the conditions around the Moore area are showing signs of improvement. Let's go and take Storm Shield full and look at the latest update here and walk you down this line. Still intense thunderstorms extend from near Lacey to Kingfisher to Piedmont, and then the southern end of this line. If we can do a quick update on radar, guys, if we can just take it full. And there you go. You can see along this line right now, storms extend from near Lacey to Kingfisher to Piedmont. And that's the northern end of this line. Then you get a break in this line that runs over to near Norman, south of there, down into McLean County, on down toward Pauls Valley. That storm line extends. Again, heaviest weather there right now. And so we got 2 rounds, one north and the other one south. And this has been the one that's really has caught our attention most of the morning with golf ball size hail. Could have had a really strong wind burst with this as it moved through the Mustang area. Have had reports of twisting winds in the trees, as being the report from the Blanchard area. Strong winds being reported with this as it's rolled through areas just west of Norman, just west of I-35 near Purcell. This little cluster of storms right here has been quite intense. And so been tracking these two. For folks in Oklahoma City, Edmond, Choctaw, Mustang, or make that Midwest City, Hara, Newalla, and then Kearney over to near Shawnee, Little Axe. Your weather has not been that bad so far. Not that bad, which is good news. But watching storms that continue, these are actually tracking toward more of an east to southeast direction. And those will continue to track right down across Oklahoma City. But they've kind of formed now into 2 different storm lines. One north, one south. Probably the more intense part of this line is running from Norman down into McLean County. So for folks in McLean County, just be prepared. This storm is very intense and has a history of very heavy rainfall and very heavy rain and also lightning. All right, here's a live shot now of this roof collapse. And Fig, let's get an update from you.
Yeah, Jed, I finally was able to get here. The roof has completely collapsed on this building. I see firemen over here. They were looking inside the opening at the top of the roof to make sure everyone's inside. And the ambulance has just arrived. I'm not sure if it's just as a safety precaution, but there are quite a few vehicles here. So the road is narrowed down going westbound on Highway 152. I'll try to get some better video here in just a minute, but right now they don't seem to be in that big of a hurry. So I don't think any people were inside.
Okay. You can probably tell it's not a really well-built building, but nonetheless, it takes a lot of force to do what you're seeing right there. That is not tornado damage, folks. That is something that just occurred this morning. I believe it was about 1 hour ago. The fire department on the scene, and as Fig said, fortunately, there hopefully were nobody in this building, but boy, completely demolished here this morning. Let's hold that shot and get a quick update from some flooding with Stan.
Well, Kay Metcalf, Facebook friend, Southwest 29th, and Sarah says the creek is way up over the road. Never seen it like that before.
And what's the location again?
That was north. That was Southwest 29th and Sarah Road. She says creek way up over the road.
Okay, that again, that's that Mustang, Yukon area there right down along the river.
That rain, that water is not, it's not finding a place to run off.
It came down very heavy. Bobby? Okay,
another place it's really dumping. We've been talking about this north of Purcell. They're reporting several accidents there along I-35 involving trucks. That's north of Purcell. They are seeing pea-sized hail, and it is dumping on them.
But this is probably going to be due to flooding, correct?
That is correct.
Or hydroplaning. Alan, let's go to your shot real quick. Can you give us an update? You're pretty close to that area. Are you in Norman now?
Okay, Jed, I've got multiple people talking to me. What was you asking?
Yeah, just wanted to know what's your location. Are you in the Norman area right now?
Yes, I'm on I-35 at Highway 9, northbound.
Okay.
And, right now, the rain is light to moderate. Traffic is really slow. I'm not sure what I've got going on up here.
Okay, Alan, we just had a multiple car accident on I-35 near Purcell. Are you any way you can turn back around and head south on 35?
I can. It's going to take me just a little bit, but I'll get back turned around.
That's still okay. That's still the direction where that heaviest storm is right now. And that storm, you can see it on the left side of the screen. It's that one that is now south of the metro. That's the one that moved through Mustang. It's the one that has produced all this flooding reports now from Mustang, Yukon. That area hit very hard. It also did this. This is a roof collapse at the 1800 block of East Highway 152 in Mustang. Looks like it's a cinder block formed walled roof, but that is complete destruction there. Some kind of, I believe it was probably some kind of a microburst. It could have been a small tornado, but I did not see anything on radar that showed that. But again, that is some significant damage there.
More as well. You know, they're collecting a lot of donations there at the Warren Theater. Well, they have gotten so much rain that the donations are being ruined, some of them. And isn't part of the tent?
Well, there was a tent collapse.
Okay.
It's collapsing there, and so some of those donations are taking a lot of water damage right now, and we've moved Rusty over there, and we'll have a live update here shortly.
Okay, let's go to Fig. Bill Newton, who is in this, who's at this roof collapse in Mustang. What's the latest on this, Fig? What have you heard?
Well, Jed, I found out why the ambulance arrived. Apparently, there were some people supposedly living in this building. No one is quite sure. So the firemen are going completely through there as much as they can to make sure that there's no one inside the structure. But there were reports that people were living here. Most people thought this was abandoned, but apparently some people were here. So we're trying to find out if they were here now when it collapsed or not.
For people that are not necessarily familiar with Mustang or maybe a little familiar with Mustang, where would this be on Highway 152? Is it near the Lowe's?
It's actually east of the Walmart. It's just as you're coming into the edge of Mustang. So it's just out on the east side of Mustang.
Okay. All right. So near Wheatland?
Not quite that far south at all.
Okay, so it's between Wheatland and Mustang. Okay, great report, Fig. Hey, we're going to need to take a quick break, pay a few bills, and we'll be back with more live severe storm coverage coming up right after this. Stay with News 9. We'll keep you advised.
Here we are talking about our severe weather this morning. Things are getting dangerous in some places, talking about those high winds and flash flooding. Quickly, Jed, I wanted to tell you this, that OG&E System Watch still reporting about 6,700 power outages, so just a few more from this.
Down just a little bit from what you
reported before? It was at 6,800, yeah.
Okay, so down just a little bit there. Okay, there's a live view. The wet roadways are the key there, and if you want to watch the CBS programming, you can go to 9.2. On the TV dial and be able to watch the CBS programming there. But we're going to stay with live coverage of these severe storms and flash flooding that is going on the western and southwest sides of the Oklahoma City area. This is a live view this morning. This is from Alan Brosey. Alan, let's give an update from you. You are southbound on I-35 near Norman.
Yeah, that's correct, Jed. I'm on I-35 southbound at Highway 9, the Highway 9 that extends west towards the Blanchard-Newcastle area. I still got a lot of water on the roadways. Light rain falling right now, but up ahead, I can see the skies are dark back towards the Purcell area.
Okay, great report there, Alan. I do want to go to, if we can go to Excel and take it full, I want to talk about something that may have something to do with that roof collapse earlier. You can see this little pink area that goes from east of Tuttle, Blanchard, down to around Dibble and Kreiner. I'm not really seeing anything on Mesonet that really shows that we've got a really large area of wind that's creating damage.